Hello, everyone, and welcome to the After Show Korea episode number 3. In this episode, we'll be talking about episodes 5 and 6 of the Korean drama Big.
자꾸 겁이 나 널 사랑해서 더 다가서면 멀어질까 말도 못해.
My name is Steven, and with me is my regular co-host Kelvin.
Hello.
So please keep in mind that in discussing these episodes, there will be spoilers for everything up until episode 6. So please go watch the show first if you do mind spoilers.
That's right. Also, as a reminder, this isn't really a recap show. There are really good websites out there, such as Drama Beans. So if you want to recap, you can go check them out. What we will do is we each picked out scenes that we liked or disliked, and we arranged them in chronological order. We also apologize if we do miss some of your favorite scenes.
Yeah, so we're not going to hit every single scene, but we are really going to try. This episode's kind of going to be pretty packed compared to the other ones, as we already have seen from our script.
Yeah.
But Kelvin and I would also like to thank all the people that listened to our first 2 episodes, and of course the ones that are listening right now. Also, big thanks to the people that commented, especially the ones on our website. So we got EMG Anime 1, we got Keen, who also linked us to her website too. I think you're a girl, apologize if you're a dude. But we also got Lucy, we got Super Big Bang, we got Feather, and we got Magna Rose. All these people commented to our site, and we thank you a lot. We also want to thank everybody else on the other places, for example, like Reddit or Soompi, or left us an iTunes review. We did have one person do that, so whoever you are, I love you so much.
Awesome.
And also, we got a lot of feedback, especially the ones saying that I was wrong. So
yes.
Even though I'm angry about that, it's totally right. I was wrong. Kyungjun and Yoonjae don't have the same birthdays. That was my fault. So if I make any other mistakes, which probably will happen, don't be afraid to blast me on any of those things I just mentioned. So without further ado, let's just get started with our discussion of episode number 5 of Big.
All right. So episode 5 starts out with Daram trying to open Seyoung's door. And Kyungjun is there and slams it, and Daran's already crying, and she calmly tells, Kyungjun to let go of the door and let me open it, but Kyungjun won't let her open it, and just basically they start a huge fight there. And the whole time I was watching, I just could feel, Daran's pain. I almost wanted to cry there. It's just so sad.
See, whereas me, on the other hand, I'm rooting for Kyungjun the whole time because he needs to stop her, and he does it, and because Darang is being herself. She's being really weak.
Right.
She's like, I really, really, really need to know. And the whole time, Kyungjun is like, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that you do not see what you will see, because we all know it's going to be terrible.
No, I agree. I mean, I didn't want her to see it either, and I think Kyungjun was doing the right thing. And with him, kicking the key away and then just basically lifting her up and just taking her out of the whole situation. That was a great part of Kyungjun.
Right, and then he tells her, like, hey, if you are going to do this, you better do it right.
Right.
Like, don't be weak. Don't be a crying, sniffling baby. Take this rock, break her window, and then beat the shit out of her.
Yeah, basically.
Beat her until her black tea turns into green tea or whatever.
Right,
and
right.
I thought that was pretty good because Darang does need to kind of,
step up, man up,
or women up, or bitch up, whatever the proper term is for women. Anyways, the next scene that I really enjoyed was when Kyungjun is in the hospital and Mari shows up. And of course, we all know how much we love Suzy. And the best part about that scene, of course, is that there's like this pillow with Susie's face on it.
It's awesome.
And I would totally buy one of those.
You're a creeper, though.
If it didn't make me look like a super creeper, if anybody in the world saw that.
That's so weird.
But I don't care. Like, I would just have it, and I would put it in the closet when nobody else is there.
And then you're gonna go into the closet and be like, "Oh, Susie, I got a pillow of you."
No, when it's just me, I'll just be like, Susie pillow. That's so cute. Anyways, there's this whole scene where Kyungjun notices the couple socks that Darang has put last episode, and he's trying to prevent Mari from taking them off, which is
right.
really sweet. Even though I don't think he personally wants them on, of course.
Really?
Because, well, that's like a tribute to Yoonjae, and he's kind of at the point where he's like, I'm here too, right?
I thought I saw it as he wanted the socks on because he wanted, to be the couple with Daran, kind of like their couple socks and stuff. And he's like, yes, I'm wearing the couple socks now, so maybe, Daran.
But he's not wearing the couple socks. Like Yoonjae technically is wearing the couple socks.
I guess so.
Like, I think personally he's like, I don't want that there because I want to be wearing those socks, but I want to respect Darang, and I know that's what she loves and what she wants. So that's why he fights to keep them on there.
I see.
Next, we have Darang finding the ticket that Yoonjae bought for LA when she's looking for the missing picture. And this is a really quick scene. I really did enjoy the callback from the earlier episodes because Sejong had tore that picture off a couple episodes ago.
From the bulletin board?
Yeah. But I'm kind of really picky about certain things, and this is one of those things that I just, like if a picture falls from a bulletin board, how the hell would it be in a shelf? Like
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I saw that too. It's like Daron's just looking through a shelf. I was like, really?
Right, like it's gonna fall and magically be in a book or something. Like they could have built that scene. It's a small thing, but they could have just built that scene with like an open bookshelf, not one with the top on it, and maybe that would make sense. But that's just kind of a small pet peeve of mine, where it's like kind of like lazy filmmaking, lazy directing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just like got to put something in to make it work, but doesn't really work out that way.
Yeah, it's like they probably wrote that really quick and didn't pay too much attention to it. But another thing that I kind of didn't really like was, Korean dramas, and I know it's a staple of Korean dramas, but a lot of times they're just super on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, we are going to tell you what's happening right now. There is no subtlety. There is no subtext. And this is the scene where Mari is kind of monologuing to Gyeongjun's coma body, right?
Yeah.
And, she's telling the coma body, like, don't go after Darang. She doesn't like you. She's only in love with Yoonjae and all this kind of stuff. And of course it's splitting the scene with Yoonjae,
running back
to see Darang. And it's just so on the nose. It just, that kind of stuff bothers me because I was feeling that the whole time, right? Like you don't need somebody to tell you. But that does happen a lot in Korean dramas.
Yeah, I think I agree too. I mean, I didn't like where Kyungjun was running back to Daran's place, and the whole time she's crying. And again, it's just I can't stand it when I see Mingjun cry. It just makes me really sad. So
yeah, but I mean, that's the point, right? I mean, why else have a beautiful girl cry other than to break your heart? Although she did magically get home pretty fast, and drunk. Right? Like she like texted him, oh, I gotta go. And then 5 minutes later, apparently she's already at home drunk.
Well, she did have two, soju bottles?
In 5 minutes. Like it seemed at least in the drama that she only had like a 5-minute head start. Unless I'm misunderstanding the
you probably
pacing
misunderstood
of the scene. I don't know.
Maybe Kim Jong got distracted. He had to walk through the hospital and stuff, but whatever. I understand. It was a little weird timing.
Yeah, but it is a turning point for Darang because this is when she's officially accepted that Yoonjae kind of
is gone.
Like, she's like, this is proof that he was going to leave or do something right before our wedding, and he never told me a single thing about it, right?
Yeah.
So this is like the first time, in addition to finding Sejong's key, where she's just like, I think it's over,
Right. I mean, right after that, Kyungjun goes back to his newlywed house. I mean, this is really small, and it's just something I wanted to add because I think Mingjung's awesome. Was when
you mean obsessed, deathly obsessed.
A little bit, but whatever.
You would want a Mingjun pillow.
Yes, actually,
I would want a Mingjun pillow too, but
yes,
a Mingjun pillow and a Suzy pillow. Yeah.
Double creeping out.
Although I take a chocolate abs like paste on too. I mean, that'd be pretty awesome.
Just the abs, right?
Just the abs pasted on your body and just walk around.
They have those,
I know, like you can do like a spray tan thing, like the Spartan, for like 300. Those crazy abs, you can just spray it on your body.
All right, so yeah, it's just the whole scene where Daran was, I think it was Kyungjun remembering Daran was marking the bed spaces. Like she's gonna sleep on this side, and she rolls over, and then she's like, Yoonjae's gonna sleep on this side, and I thought that was really awesome, really cute. But everyone already knows Mingjun's really cute, so Didn't have to really say it.
Yes, and I think you forgot to mention that she's cute, and also that she's cute.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I think you forgot about that, so you may want to say that again.
Oh yeah, she's cute. Forgot. Sorry.
All right, so next, after that, you kind of have this scene where Marie wants to get the wallet back, the wallet that has the miracle picture, the Kyungjun's wallet, right?
Yeah.
And she knows that, to her, Yoonjae's body has it. And so she kind of outsmarts him by finding out his address, right?
Yeah, and then fake saying that Kyungjun's awake and stuff.
Right, and as he's running out, she runs in.
That's awesome.
And of course, they kind of have this bickering part where, he doesn't want her to see the car bed because then they're going to link, she's going to figure something out.
Yeah, something's weird going on. It's like, why do you have Kyungjun's bed in your house and stuff like that?
Yeah.
It's not really his house.
It's kind of like slapstick moment, where he's like, I got to get the remote for the smart, super smart glass or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But the ending of the scene where she just
kicks him.
And I did not see this coming. I really didn't. But it's like, because how's she going to get away, right? And I was like, what's she going to do? And then she just smacks him right in the balls. And I was like,
I like her facial expression. She was kind of like a Popeye type, where she had her arms out to the side and with her face tilted. And
right, it was super like comically overdone, right?
Yeah,
but it was. I mean, who can look so cute hitting him in the balls except for Susie, right? But anyway, so she does, and she gets out, she takes the wallet, and without seeing the bed, right? Without seeing the bed.
Right.
So I thought that was a pretty funny scene, especially, it surprised me, which doesn't really happen that much in Korean dramas, that something surprising happens,
Yeah.
Next, we have this scene where Se-young, I think, does she call up Darang to meet? I think she does, right?
No, I thought Darang was going to call her
Darang
up.
calls her.
I feel like Darang called her up.
Okay, well, either way, one of them calls each other up, and they kind of go to like a coffee shop or a juice shop or whatever, and they're talking about their situation. And it was like the first major time, of course, that Darang just stands up for herself, right?
Yeah, finally, just basically tells her off. It's like, if you get, if you don't watch out, I'm going to just beat the shit out of you type of thing. She kind of mans up finally.
Yeah, and Se-young is straight up about it, right? She's like, you don't deserve to be with Yoonjae, and I should be the one with him. He's just with you because you're guilted
pitiful.
him. Yeah, you're pitiful and you guilted him and you're just holding on to him, right?
Right.
And it was pretty satisfying. Maybe there needed to be a slap in there, but I actually kind of like that there was no slap because
I think slap's overdoing it though.
I mean, if that's your fiance and this other woman's coming up to you like, you suck and I want your man, like,
I agree. Fine, slap the bitch.
I mean, oh, that was mean. I mean, you don't have to say the B word. I mean, come on, guy.
What? We've been saying it the whole time. Oh, now you'd be like, that's too mean.
Yeah.
Whatever. Who cares? Next scene. Anyway, so the next scene was when Darang and Kyungjun actually takes wedding photos, which I think is just totally weird because in Darang's mind, she was like, I'm not going to marry Kyungjun anymore, but I still want photos.
Well, she wants the photos because this is the only way she can remember this era of her life. Like,
I guess so, but
that's the whole point. The whole point is she just wants this one last happy thing before she destroys. Because when she not breaks up, but when she calls off the wedding, like pretty much she's destroying her life for at least a couple months, right?
Yeah.
Like she's gonna get crapped on by her parents. She's gonna get crapped on by her friends. She's gonna, So she just wants this one beautiful, long-lasting, memento. Yeah, this happy remembrance. And I personally think this was like the best scene of the entire episode.
It's because Mingjun wasn't there.
Maybe.
In a wedding dress. That was stunning.
That wedding dress, oh my god! And plus, you see, Gong Yu, the actor that plays Kyungjun, like his face where he's like, this is dumb, I don't care, and then she walks out and he's like, oh my god,
bam, drop dead gorgeous type of thing.
Like, I love you so much, yeah, and facial expression is so good,
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he really, I don't, of course, have the same body as Gong Yu, but he really sells bow ties. And I have this, I'm like, okay, if I get married, which will definitely happen soon, right?
Exactly.
When I get married, it's going to be bow ties all the way, But no, anyways, there's this whole part where Darang's brother is like taking spy shots the whole time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mainly for his mom. I think his mom asked him to do it in the previous scene, but he's also texting them to Marty because she kind of wants to know.
She was shopping. I thought this. Well, it was kind of like a weird coincidence because I've been surfing Reddit recently, and the overly attached girlfriend has been on there all the time. And in the background of the scene, "Call Me Maybe" was playing, and the overly attached girlfriend actually did a parody of this song, and I was like, wow, Susie or Marie is the overly attached girlfriend.
Right, so you can just Google that, because I had no idea what the heck Kelvin was talking about when he wrote this down. But yeah, if you call it, it's just this creepy girl, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Just being obsessive, and, you know, Susie's the 100 times cuter version of that, but I can definitely see her, as Susie will prove later on this episode, that she is pretty cray-cray, as the American youth
Oh,
say.
I hate the word cray-cray.
Should be, cray-sizzle, or whatever.
Cray-sizzle?
Whatever they say. But yeah, no, you said that the scene where Darong's brother, they're like shopping, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's later on.
That's later on. But she's just shopping for like normal clothes, I think. That's trying to look like a teacher.
She wants to look more like a teacher because to her, Kyung-jun likes Darong, who's like a teacher.
She feels a little threatened by Darong.
No, but when she gets these pictures, the whole point of that scene is that she's getting these pictures from Darong's brother, and she's like doing this crazy sleuth detective work. She busts out her other Samsung tablet or whatever, like, the mega version of her phone, which is already pretty mega enough. And you know, I appreciate that they went through this kind of, you know, Mission Impossible type scene, but it's just, once again, it was just so lazy Korean drama laziness. It was like, oh, it is the exact same pose, right?
Well, how else are you gonna represent that kind of, you know, similarities?
It's pretty easy. Just maybe he's sitting not on a bench or something else with his foot up.
I see.
Gotcha. He doesn't, like, he can sit with his foot up, but not his arms out.
It doesn't have to be against a tree or like a bottle that he's drinking and stuff.
Yeah, like everything was set up, you know, to be right. Like, in case you're dumb, you know, these are the same poses. And I know that's just.
You just don't like that kind of stuff, though. So.
Right, I don't like that stuff because to me, it's very simple to fix. Like, it's very simple to fix, and it makes you feel like whoever wrote this thinks you're dumb. But I guess maybe in Korea, like we said earlier, you know, we're in America. We're not even Korean, right?
Right.
Maybe in Korea, a lot of younger kids watch these kind of dramas, maybe, and so maybe they do have to kind of
point it
down. Yeah, point it down right on the nose in case. In
people
case
miss it.
The younger kids are listening to it. I don't know, but
yeah.
I thought it was a little weird for me. Did you think? I mean, you don't really care about that kind of stuff, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I accept because I know it's a drama, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, they're just gonna have to do this kind of stuff, so I accept it. It doesn't bother me that much.
Yeah, I guess that's true. All right, so next, there's this whole scene where Darong kind of tells Kyung-jun like her plan, right? She's like, I took these photos because after this, we're done. I'm calling off the wedding, and when I call off the wedding, you're going to be kind of in trouble. So you probably need to leave, right?
Yeah, leave town, get out of here. No
You can take this. About it. Yeah, take the ticket that to LA that that Yoon-jae had bought, and just get out of here, right? And I thought that was a really good scene because it really was the whole point. And Kyung-jun doesn't really take it, right? He doesn't really take it very well. Because he's losing the person that I think, you know, he's
starting to fall for.
Yeah, he's starting to fall for. So he's just like, you know what? If you're going to end this and you get your last moment, right?
Yeah,
I'm going to get my last moment.
Yeah.
And he just fools on, just
force kiss.
Yeah.
Use the force kiss.
And I thought it was a really good kiss because I've seen some really
kiss.
Awkward kisses in Korean cinema in general. And I thought it was a really good kiss. She reacted in a really fun way.
Looked natural.
Yeah. But then right after the manly kiss where he's all serious, he does this, he reverts instantly back to 12-year-old, you know, Kyung-jun and starts running away on a little bicycle.
Dude, yes, the bicycle. Random bicycle in the field. Where do you get that kind of stuff?
I think they were using it as one of the photo
okay,
props,
that makes sense.
I think.
Gotcha. Like they're taking a photo of it. All right.
Which, by the way, like, I know a lot of our friends who've gotten married go back to Taiwan and they do, like, wedding photos there, you know? Because they're very different than American-style wedding photos. And I'm starting to kind of know why, because they're so much cuter.
I think they're awkward. They're in weird poses and weird situations that would never... But I guess that's the point.
But yeah, that's the point, because you want to remember this day, like, super special, right? Like, you don't want just you standing next to your wife, like, boring.
Because that's not special enough.
Of course, that's not special. I mean, you can just divorce her later, right? That's the American.
Get another
That's like
one.
the American saying.
But the bike.
You can
But
just
the
divorce.
bike is the specialness.
Hey, the bike, the balloons, right?
Yes.
Anyways,
So the next scene was when Daron finally gets home after, telling Kyung-jun that it's over, right? And Daron's brother finds the cake that says congratulations or whatever in your, on the pregnancy. And I thought that was hilarious because Daron's mom eventually finds out that Daron and Kyung-jun aren't getting married. So there's this really quiet scene that they're just chatting and why they're not getting married and stuff. And then Daron's mom gets up and starts walking away and kind of stumbles a bit. At first you think, oh, is she going to faint, right? But then all of a sudden you turn around the brother turns around and tells everyone to like run away. And you see Daron's mom basically just hulk out and pulls out this, what's it, mop?
it's like a mop. Yeah,
and about to like beat people with it. It's awesome.
That was a pretty awesome moment. I mean, because you don't know what she's gonna do, right? And I thought she was gonna faint. I thought she was just so mad and so angry she's gonna faint, and she just flips out. And like my mom kind of does the same thing,
Yeah.
where she like goes quiet, and then you're like, oh fuck.
Shit.
Right?
Step back.
I think we need to leave. But I thought that was a pretty good
Crazy
moment.
Asian moms, man.
Dude, those Asian moms. I mean, that
The
reminds me of
quiet
like
ones,
the My Sassy Girl mom, right? Where the main guy comes home and she just beats him with everything that she has around,
I wonder if that happens in Korea.
Yeah, and you kind of pray that she has something around her that's not like
Not hard.
yeah, super hard. But yeah, no, I really did like that moment. But it was a very cool scene before that because it was like a meshing of all sorts of things. Because Darang's brother already knew that they were leaving, right? Because he had punched Kyung-jun earlier, and he couldn't tell his family because they had relatives over.
Yeah.
Right. So it was this kind of meshing of like, oh my God, how are they going to tell each other? How are they going to do this? How are they going to do this? And finally, Darang does, and this moment happens with the mom.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So the next part is that you see Yoon-jae's mother is I can't remember either. Does she call Kyung-jun or does? Oh yeah, she calls him, right? And Kyung-jun picks up.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, you need to come home, right? You need to. Why don't we go back to the United States together, right? If the wedding's off. And
this was after she finding out that Kyung-jun had an accident, right? Because Seong calls her and was like, oh, did you know that Kyung-jun had an accident and all that kind of stuff?
Right, yeah. Seong calls her because, try to get her back to Seong's side, right?
Yeah.
And so Kyung-jun, it is a perfect scenario because they were just talking about how he needs to go back home, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that Kyung-jun is like, how am I going to fake with the dude's mother, right?
Yeah, and being Yoon-jae.
Yeah, like there's no way. So he kind of summons all his courage and he's like, I'm going to make one last shot. And I'm like, Darang, let's just get married and so we can stay together. Right?
Yeah.
It's so sweet. Like, he's like, please, I'm putting all the eggs in this basket. Please do it. And Darang is still like,
just flat out reject. Well, no, it's not now. It's just like, are you kidding me? Am I getting proposed to an 18-year-old type of thing?
All right, which is worse than
yeah,
nah,
she just like laughs in his face.
Yeah, she's like, are you freaking stupid? Like, why would I ever? It was so painful.
I thought it was funny.
Really, you're funny because you are on her side.
Yes, I am.
But so, like, speaking of that, like, since you are on her side, like, who do you want to see her with then? Like, do you want to see her with
Kyung-jun? No, I do want to see her with Kyung-jun.
Okay, well then you should have felt bad.
I did feel bad, but I thought it was funny how she was like laughing and her facial expressions was what got to me. I just really
when a really cute girl rubs it in your face when you ask her to marry her, we'll see if you still think she's cute and funny.
It's okay.
I know you're going out with the girl for 2 years. You finally are like, I love you so much, and she just laughs at you.
I'm not gonna be 18
and
anymore.
Then you're gonna call me and be like, at least she was cute. At least she was cute when saying. I don't think that's gonna happen.
I mean, I got a cute girlfriend. Oh, I did, but
yeah, my cute girlfriend was just playing with me. And but she was so cute, so it didn't matter.
Mean joke.
Anyway, so. Yeah, so since that was his last attempt, he kind of spirals out of control, and he I think is that night he's sleeping. He's like, okay, I'm out of options, right?
Right.
Like Darang doesn't want to be with me. I don't want to go home with Yoonjae's mother, so I'm going to last ditch effort. I'm going to steal his original body, right? And at first I didn't really know what was going on, but it's pretty apparent that he wants to cause another accident, right?
Yeah.
Because Darong kind of has this offhanded example of, how am I going to switch back? And she's like, well, I guess the only way is another near-death experience, right?
I thought it was a stupid scene. Like, what is he gonna do with a body in a coma? And he just brings it back like nothing happened.
Well, I mean, the point was he was going to crash him off the same place so that
he could save him or save the
No,
coma.
it was that in theory, since that's where it started, maybe if they crash, maybe they'll switch back afterwards.
But he had to do something. Like he would. I don't know. I think he was trying to crash, and then he was going to try to save his own body, like how Yoonjae saved him. But he eventually didn't do it, and then he just brings back the body to the hospital, and doesn't even really give a reason why he did it to the aunt and uncle and Daron and stuff.
Yeah, I wrote down that the line that he says when he gets back is like one of those like wink wink lines where it's like the audience knows more than the characters in the scene, right?
Right.
And he says something like, I was trying to get back myself or my body or something like that, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense though.
Right, in the context of the situation. That's what I'm saying. In the context of the situation, the uncle and aunt should have been like, what?
Yeah, like what the fuck are you saying?
Like, what the fuck does that even mean? But then the scene just kind of cuts and it's like, okay, I guess they were okay with it, Like, he could have just said something like, oh, I was just taking him out for a walk. Maybe that would have... right?
Like,
maybe
get
that
some
would
fresh
have
air or
helped him.
something would have been a better idea.
Yeah.
But
and that's another example of, like, kind of lazy script writing, right?
Yeah.
Where they were too focused on that wink wink line and not focused on it making sense as a story.
Yeah, that's the stuff I don't like as well. But
Yeah.
I try not to notice it.
But anyways, after that scene, next, Kyung-jun does come up with a pretty good, solution. And she's like, he's like, I'm going to tell Yoonjae's mother that I just have amnesia. And that explains why I don't act the way I do. And then I'll go back to America with her. And I was actually surprised. I was like, why did they not go with amnesia since that is a Korean staple, right?
Yeah, like that would have been the better idea.
Yeah,
from the start.
Yeah, from the start, just been like, then he doesn't have to play off like he is Yoonjae anymore, right? Like,
doesn't have to try to be a doctor and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was like, I appreciate that they didn't go with amnesia first because that would have been generic, right? But then they played the card anyways. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. If they're gonna play it, they might as well have just done it in the beginning then.
Yeah, if they're gonna play it, might as well. But it does make sense as a solution, right?
Yeah.
And once again, like last minute, he's just like, Darong, one more time, I'm about to leave. Like, I love you. I think I want to marry you. I'm gonna come back, and we're doing this, right?
Did you? I don't know. I think he was delusional. Like, did he really think that she would come back after just laughing in his face? It just didn't make sense to me.
I think he is. This is 18-year-old, right? Like, this is what the character should be because he's very hopeful, right? He doesn't really understand the situation, but he's in love, right? He's 18-year-old. He's in love. He's just like, please, I will do anything, right, for you. Please just acknowledge me. But Darang just once again just says, what? No again, right? Like, pretty much the same reaction as before.
He just kind of leaves then.
Yeah, it was so sad. It was so sad. And as Kyung-jun is leaving in the airport, like there's multiple cuts of him just staring back, right? Him like hoping that Darang is going to show up at the airport and tell him to stop and that they could get married. And but it doesn't happen and he leaves.
Pretty much. Sad for him.
It was really sad. But it makes sense, to move the story along. And then, of course, comes kind of out of nowhere, the 1 year later jump.
Come on, man. Time skips. Those are awesome.
Time skips are awesome, but they usually don't happen this quickly in a drama, Usually it's like halfway through the drama or something because the drama's kind of gotten stale and they need something to create new problems. But
guess so.
They just go ahead. They're like 1 year later, and it's at first you're like, I'm confused because
the same scene with the wedding.
Yeah, Darang is running up to, I guess, the same looking church in a very similar looking outfit, right?
It's a fancy church everyone uses.
I guess so. And, she's at this wedding. It's been a year. Apparently she has the same haircut. Right?
And she has she got her certificate.
Right, she did get her certificate, which they don't really talk about ever again. At least for now, right?
Yeah.
And so you're like, okay, she's kind of seemingly gotten over Yoonjae a little bit, right? And then it ends kind of with her waiting at an elevator, and well, you don't know whether it's
if it's Yoonjae,
yeah, you don't
or
know if it's Yoonjae
Kyungjun.
or Gwangjun. Damn it, Kelvin.
What? I didn't say anything.
I know.
You said Gwangjun.
I know, we've had so many arguments over how to pronounce it, and now I'm getting so confused in my head. Because you do still say it with a K sound.
I know.
But
I
anyways,
try not to.
yeah, there's this kind of like moment where you're like, is it him? What's happening? And then the episode ends. But I did like that it ended with this, because there was a lot of what ifs, and there was a lot of what the heck is going to happen, right?
Yeah, a good cliffhanger. And good thing is, like, the good thing is you only have one episode, you know, or the next episode is the next day. That's what I'm trying to say. So
right. But I mean, I watched this back to back because we both have to wait for subtitles, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was one of those where you like get up out of your chair real quickly and you're like double click the next episode. You're like, what happened next? But anyway, so that's episode 5. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back with episode 6.
사랑하는 너라서 몇 번도 참을 수 있어 처음부터 너 하나밖에 난 몰랐으니까 다 너라서 이렇게 보고 싶은 너라서 사랑해 너무 아프지만 너무 힘들어.
All right, welcome back. We had a long break, actually, about 15 minutes of furious discussion on whether or not we made any mistakes. But if we did make any mistakes, you know, please be sure to either leave a comment on our website or the multitude of other ways. But anyways, here we go. Episode number 6 of Big. So it starts out with the same scene, of course, that it ended with, which is Darang is standing next to Yoonjae or Kyungjun, right? We don't know. And there's all this moment where, you know, Gong Yu, we'll just call him Gong Yu, you know, the actor that plays it for now. He says the line, and then Darang's like,
oh, so
Yoonjae?
Yeah.
Right, and then he'll say another line. He's like, wait, Kyungjun? And I thought that was a pretty cool moment, because at first you're like, wait, what? What's happening right now?
Yeah, basically,
you know?
Kyungju's just trolling her. I mean, I thought...
Well,
he's just doing it,
trolling
trying
her.
to get back at her for, you know, not coming to the airport or not marrying him and stuff like that, so...
Right, because the whole point of him leaving is that he's like, I think we didn't talk about that. Sorry. I want to upgrade myself to close the gap between the 18-year-old mind and the 30-year-old mind, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, I want to make it so that you don't know who you're talking to. And so actually the first like 20 minutes is all about him proving to her that he's different. Yeah.
Yeah. And like right after the elevator, they get out, and then Kyungjun finds the table, or not Kyungjun, Daran finds the table that Kyungjun's at, and she walks over and sits down. They're having this weird chat, and everyone's looking at him because they broke up. And I thought that was kind of funny. But do you think that it's kind of weird that everyone knows about the breakup and stuff, though? Because
I mean, not really. I mean, it's the same group of friends, right? Because
right, yeah,
you know,
it's the same like wedding-ish.
And like I said, I mean, maybe that's in America, maybe calling off a wedding's not a big deal. But even in America, you know, if you call off a wedding, that's a pretty big ass thing, right?
Yeah.
Especially right before it was supposed to happen and so far along in the process. And I mean, I think it's a very drama-like to have it so obvious, right? Like in real life, not everybody is going to be staring directly at them, talking about them, you know?
Yeah.
But,
it was really funny that, you know, they're talking, and then eventually they realize that everyone's looking at him. They're like, "Oh God, whoever gets up first is going to be, you know, the ones that's better off. The one that's sitting down is going to have all the embarrassment." They do this like 1, 2, 3 counting thing, and Kyungjun basically cheats and counts to 3 real quick and just walks away. And I was like, "Ha, that sucks for her."
Right, and I think that proves that like he planned that, right? Like he was sitting at that table by himself on purpose, right?
Yeah,
because in the beginning of the scene, he was talking to his friends, right? Right at the beginning of the scene, he's talking to his friends, and Darang and her friend are talking on the side. And before she walks over to him, like he purposefully sits down at this like empty table.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of, you know, as you said, he's pretty much just trolling her, making her confused on purpose.
Yeah. But then Chocolate Abs just walks in like into the wedding hall like a beast, opening the door, and I was like, damn, I need to get a suit. That's what the whole time I was thinking.
Well, you need to get a suit, also be like 6 feet tall, super skinny, and like
chocolate abs,
and have a custom tailored suit to your exact body proportions.
Damn it!
But
if only
he does look pretty damn good in that suit.
Yeah.
But no, I thought that was pretty cool because he could have just left and had her sitting there, and he did. He was nice, and he came back and was like, "Yo, if you're not getting up, right?" Like,
dude, I want to try that one day. 1, 2, 3, and just like pick up a girl and be like, "Let's go," and walk out like a beast.
You can try that, and I'll try the whole sleeping at a random place.
I think mine would be better than yours.
Oh, hey, you never know until we try it, right?
Yours is way too risky.
Oh, mine is really risky. Maybe I'll put like a sign next to me that's like,
no
dongs, please.
No dongs in the mouth.
Only approach if you are dongless. Oh, man. But anyways, what happens next, Kelvin?
So yeah, they're walking away from the wedding, and they kind of go their separate ways, right? And Daron's just walking down the street, and then you hear Kyungjun honking the horn and stuff, making a huge scene, and Daron's friends are in the back, and she's trying to hide and stuff. But eventually, she gets in the car, it's like, all right, let's go. But Kyungjun, again, is just trolling her. He drives backwards, and then basically has all Daron's friends just stare and ask, like, what's up? What's going on? Are you guys together and stuff? And basically a big troll.
Yeah, and this is like a callback to the original Gyeongjun, right?
Yeah,
the bus Gyeongjun, right?
Yeah.
The guy who won't pick up an umbrella because he's being a smart aleck, right?
Yep.
Like, this matches kind of exactly with...
I think this is the character that you wanted Gong Yu to play the whole time, not the super childlike one.
Yeah, this is kind of what I envisioned. At least because that was the first personality you see anyways in the beginning of the show, right?
Right.
And I did like that he was kind of going back to it, you know?
Yeah. So
yeah, but at the end of the drive, right? He drops her off, I think at the dumpling place, right? And there's a scene where he as she's walking away, he puts his head down. Or I'm sorry. Right before that, he asks her, right? He asks her, "Hey, can you say my name?" And at first you're like, that's a little weird, right? Because she's just like, Gyeongjuna, whatever. And then as she walks away, he's like, "Oh, I miss that so much because you're the only one
that knows me."
Yeah, you're the only one who knows me. You're the only one that will call me by that name. And that didn't occur to me, and I thought that was really sweet.
Actually, I missed that the first time I was watching. I was like, what's so big? Like, what's the big deal about that? But then when I was rewatching for the script and stuff, I was like, oh, that makes sense now because only her, or only she knows that it's Kyungjun.
Yeah, for like a whole year, I mean, everyone's calling him Yoonjae, right?
Yeah.
And I really, really, really like that.
It's pretty cool.
So next, and this is the scene where sometimes I just kind of don't like a scene because it's kind of dumb, but like this scene, it just doesn't it actually frustrated me to no end, right? And it's when Kyungjun is at work and he's like, I guess eating or drinking with his coworkers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "Are you ready to come back?" And he's like, "Yes, I am." And
it kind of doctor again.
Yeah, he's like this kind of flashing to, I guess, his room, and he's got like open textbooks and stuff. And it's just okay.
Doesn't make sense, right?
It doesn't make any sense. Like, I understand he's smart and he can quote Russian poems, whenever he wants, but like, you can't
go through med school in a year.
Be a doctor in a year from textbooks. Like, even the smartest minds in the world have to go to medical school for at least
4 years.
If you're like Doogie Howser, at least for a couple of years, right?
Well, it's Korean dramas, man. There's no Doogie Howser there.
Fine, okay. I will suspend my belief. He is super smart, right? This is under the assumption he's super smart. And yet, the one thing he didn't think of in his entire year was, I'm still afraid of blood, right?
Yeah, all right. I was like, really? You're a doctor and you're going to be like scared of blood?
It's like he didn't think to train him the whole time, to train my mind. He's like, okay, I'm going to study my ass off to be a doctor. Wait a second. Doctors always deal with blood. Like, it was just such a giant fucking like
flaw in the drama.
Yeah. Right? It was just so... But yes, I know it doesn't matter.
Just gotta accept it.
You just gotta accept it, but it's just, that's so dumb. Like, I cannot believe it. That's like Transformers dumb. Right?
The real life action
like,
one.
That at least had to throw you off a little bit. you know?
It did.
All right. Well, anyways, I think there's this scene also with that where he meets Mari there, right? And this is the first time you see Mari really talk about her relationship with Gyeongjun, right?
Mhm.
Because you haven't heard much about it, and the whole time I'm thinking that they were really close because she knows everything about him, right?
Yeah.
Either they were like childhood friends that grew up together, or they were really good boyfriend and girlfriend, although it didn't really seem like that, right?
Yeah. It's just it's weird because they don't seem close at first.
Right,
you know?
they don't seem close boyfriend and girlfriend like, but then she does know everything about him, and he kind of knows everything about her. So
Yeah.
I guess they're probably just childhood friends, and it kind of shows because she's like, the reason she's sticking by Gyeongjun is like because she wants to be loyal to him, and because she's like, well, his mom died, and I don't
Mhm.
want to ever leave him, you know?
Yeah.
Like his mom did, and it's kind of this weird thing of maybe she does pity him, and she's just with him because nobody else is with him, you know?
Yeah.
So at this point, I was like, does she really even like him, you know? Or does
I
she
think-
just want to be with him because he has nobody else?
No, I think I think she likes him. Not because
Not,
Because
you
he
don't
has-
think it's because of pity, or you think it's like half and half?
no, I think she likes him. It's just she also feels sad for him because of that, you know. But she does really like him.
Yeah, but it's kind of the same thing with like original Yoonjae. Like, I mean, I'm sure he thought he liked Darang, but he could be based off of pity and, you know, because he broke her tailbone or whatever it is was, you know?
Right. It makes sense. I mean, I can see that she may just be pitying him, and maybe in the
Right.
future episodes we'll see that, because I think like in this whole drama, the whole time I'm thinking that Daran's brother and Marie is gonna get together. So I'm trying to see how that's gonna happen. You know?
Well, I hope not.
You don't think
because-
so?
Well, I mean, I think the setup is generic, you know, this is a guy who loves her, but she could care less because she's thinking about somebody else.
It's Korean drama, man. How much?
But the thing is, that's the thing. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, who the fuck, like, are they going to switch back even bodies? Like, what if Yoon Jae comes back, right? Like,
Right.
that personality. Or what if Yoon Jae comes back in Kyung-jun's original body, right? Like, the thing I love about this setup is that it's so open-ended, you know, especially right now, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, what's next?
So the next scene is where Kyungjun Kyungjun goes to Daran's school and is gonna pick her up, and Daran's like, "Why the hell are you here?" And basically, he's just there to make a huge scene. He goes to the VP and just talks about Kyungjun, the original one that's in high school and stuff. And he's basically making a scene where he says that he wasn't good enough for Daran, and that it was actually her breaking up with him, and just trying to get her dignity back before she can come back to his arms and stuff like that. And that was a really sweet thing for him to do.
Right. No, yeah, this was another, I think this is like a well-written scene. Like, and this happens multiple times where at first you're like, what is he doing? Right?
Yeah.
Like, is he just being a dick and showing up at school? But then at the very end, you realize that, oh, he's really just trying to, because he knows that she's probably taken a lot of crap.
Mhm.
Right, in the last year, and he's just trying to prove to everybody or to show everybody that she's the good one, you know, and
And
he's
it's just
the
I wasn't
bad
good
one.
enough and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I really did like that. It's really sweet, you know, really sweet.
Anyway, there's like another scene though. This is totally off topic, pretty much, but it was in the drama where Daran's brother and Mari was shopping in like a shoe store and stuff. And whenever Mari says, "I'll subtract the pi" in Korean, that is the cutest thing ever. I don't know. It's just maybe because I don't know Korean. It's just the sounds of it or the way she says it. But yeah, this is pretty pointless. But she's cute.
Yeah, you really like girls, I think is what this podcast should be called.
Maybe.
Hey, but it is cute.
I'm
I mean,
sorry, you only like chocolate abs.
I do love chocolate abs, but I also like, I mean, that Darang's brother, right, is,
Yeah.
you know, just her bitch, right? And I kind of relate to that, right? Like sometimes you like a girl so much, you know, that
Pretty
you
much
just do
anything.
whatever she says just to kind of spend time with her.
Yeah.
And
Understandable.
that's kind of what Gyeongjun does with Darang, right? It's not as super obvious, but Gyeongjun does spend a lot of time making things up to do, right?
Just to hang out with her and stuff.
Yeah, which leads to the next scene because Gyeongjun is like, hey, I'm moving back to the house, right?
Yeah.
And all your stuff is there. You need to come back to the house and get all your stuff out today, right?
Yeah.
And he's just saying that to spend more time with her. But the problem is that while she's cleaning the house, Se-young is also coming to the house to bring Kyung-jun, or I guess to her, Yoon-jae's belongings, right?
Yeah. It was really weird, though. It felt like she had the key to the house. Does that
Yeah,
make
I
sense?
was telling you earlier, I think it's just that, because right before that, Kyung-jun leaves to go buy cleaning supplies.
Yeah.
And I think he only
Left
meant
it
to be gone
unlocked.
for a little while, so, it's like, oh, the door's unlocked. Maybe.
No, but you hear that beep, it's like beep, and then, I don't know. I think when you hear the beep, it's like a key or something, or maybe that's an alarm. Anyways, I
Or
thought it was kind of weird.
It could also have just been just a stupid, like, a cutting thing or a editing floor thing, or just they didn't think about that, right? Because they don't think
it's
about
not good
certain
enough. Oh, wells.
But so this is like scene number 2 where Darang just owns the crap out of Se-young,
Yeah, get off my
Um,
stuff. This is mine, and it's like I don't want to see you here with my stuff.
Yeah, and this time she takes it a step further because she literally, like, pretty much just throws her out, right? She not picks her up, but she pretty much just shoves her out the door. And as Se-young is leaving, Kyung-jun is also
back.
there, and he pretty much just shuts her down too, right?
Yeah,
And
it's like until I'm back in, or until I'm not a child anymore, don't talk to me or kind of stuff.
yeah. And but you gotta love, long, slow takes of Korean legs, to like a mini skirt. I was like, all right, okay, I guess so. Let's do this. But it
That's
does
all
show-
you got out of that scene? The Korean legs?
That did blind me for a little bit, but it was a good scene because, like I said, it shows kind of that Darang has changed.
Yeah.
She's taking control of the situation,
Stepping up and not being as pitiful now.
Yeah.
So the next scene is where Kyung-jun actually is going back to Daran's dumpling shop, and this time he's gonna try to make everything good again between the parents and stuff. Kind of like what he did with the high school. And so he's walking up, he's acting all confident, and then all of a sudden, Daran's mom walks out with customers. He just starts hiding and stuff. I thought it was hilarious that he's trying to be all strong, and all of a sudden he just cowers away and stuff.
Yeah, and there's a whole part where he's like hiding with a fan, right?
Yeah.
And he sees Darang's mother and father. Like he's about to tell them, but he sees that they're holding, knives and
Like a rolling
rolling pin, and stuff like that.
And then Susie comes along when he's trying to leave, or Mari's coming along.
Yeah, and the thing I didn't like about that scene, while I thought it was funny, it was just this was the first scene where it's just old Kyung-jun again.
Like nothing's
Like-
changed.
Yeah, like nothing's like he can put up this facade for Darang all those past scenes, right? But in the long run, he's just the same dude,
Yeah. He should have been able to just
He didn't really mature enough to just walk up,
walk in, right?
accept his punishment, and move on. He's still like, oh no, I'm hiding, like slapstick kind of little 12-year-old kind of things, and that kind of bothered me because I really did think he had changed. And this was kind of the moment where I was like, okay, just kidding. It's kind of all an act,
Yeah.
So next, it's skipping a couple scenes, but Kyung-jun and Darang are getting coffee, right? And there's this whole part where Darang is seeing this girl hit on Kyung-jun. She does the whole like, oh, I spilled something on you.
Do people really do that?
I mean, I've seen that before,
you
but
serious?
it's always from the guy version.
Oh.
The guy is spilling things on the girl. I don't know,
Okay.
but if that happens, it hasn't happened to me. So
Or me. I was like, damn it.
yeah,
Ugh.
but
I guess we just need some chocolate dabs.
I think we just need some chocolate abs before a girl starts spilling crap all over our,
Or sure.
Although I guess in Korea maybe the pickup lines are not very good. Like Darong's brother writing on a bag, like that's like the dumbest pickup move ever. But anyway, so you see the scene and Darang's kind of being jealous, but the thing is, once again, you kind of think she's changed and kind of grown some, I was gonna say grow some balls,
That's what I was thinking you were going to say, but I was like,
but she kind
wait.
of you thought she's more assertive.
Yeah.
But
she's
she's
still
kind of frozen,
scared.
right? She's frozen. She's like, what am I going to do? And Kyung-jun kind of calls her up and is like, are you just going to watch this happen? Like, get your butt over here.
And then
Which-
even when she walks over, she kind of just like nods, or not nods, like kind of bows to the girl that's trying to take her guy, and I was like, come on, you're the girlfriend, you know, you should be stronger about this, not just kind of like, oh yes, okay, hi, and then kind of walk away. I was like, ugh.
Right, but
Weak.
to be devil's advocate, I mean, right at this point, like, she is kind of trapped because she's like, I just spent a year getting over Yoonjae, right?
Yeah.
And here is that face that I'm in love with again, and everybody is thinking that we're getting back together, right? So she is kind of confused as to what she is supposed to do in that situation because she doesn't want to be the girlfriend because, right, she had just spent a lot of time.
Yeah. She hasn't decided yet. She was like,
right.
She was just thinking, well, I mean, what you said was just at this point in the scene, she hasn't decided to be the girlfriend, so that she was confused.
Yeah, and then so that's the thing. In the next scene, Kyung-jun kind of lays out his plan, right? And his plan is like, we need to get back together, at least for a facade, right?
Mhm.
Because Yoonjae's mother is pushing him to get married to Seo-young, right? And he is like, to get her off my back, we need to get back together. So will you do me a favor like I did you a favor for all those months, right? Or I don't know how long it was. But for all that time, like, you need to pretend to be my fiance now. Yeah, to pretend to help me out. And of course,
she just rejects him.
Darong is just like, hell no. Like, I ain't gonna do that, right? And it's like,
she's really selfish,
damn it,
actually.
Darong. You know what? She is actually, like, everything so far in this show is all her, right? She's always worried about her or her version of Yoonjae.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of been, you know, she's not leading Kyung-jun on, but she is kind of
asking a lot from
him. Yeah, with not much in return. So I thought it was
okay.
kind of a really sad scene. Because Kyung-jun is like, he gives a speech. He's like, it's either all or nothing. You know, he's like, either we get together and we can spend time with each other again, or we can never see each other again because that's going to complicate both our lives. And even after saying that, Darang is just like looking down and like sulking, and he's like, okay, I guess I know.
All right, yeah, it's like fine, and he just walks away.
And he just walks away, and I was like, come on.
It's okay. I mean, she's gonna come back, right?
I mean, I'm
in the next scene.
Sure, but anyways, the next scene, which is kind of interspliced, is that Marie, who had just found out talking to Kyung-jun's uncle, right, that Yoonjae, or at least the body of Yoonjae, has bought Kyung-jun's house. So she's kind of putting everything together, and it's like, okay, I need to go check out this house.
It's kind of weird.
So, well, at first she's just climbing over the fence to the house, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And then she like wait. She like passes by the window, and she sees the car bed, right?
Yeah.
So she's like, holy shit, what the hell is going on? I see the car bed, I need to get in. And then I think she just loses her fucking mind.
Dude,
right?
Okay, before this, she was climbing the wall, right? She climbs with heels. Who does that? That's crazy. She lands with heels,
She's
too.
a beast.
I was like, wow, that's crazy.
That's the crazy part. Really? That's the crazy part? Is her crawling around with heels?
It's a build-up, okay? She's crazy for jumping off with
She's
heels.
not... Okay, first of all, that's not crazy. That's just stupid, because she should have just taken them off and thrown it over.
Okay, fine.
Right. Okay.
But then she does go batshit crazy and, like, punches the window.
Okay, she punches the... First of all, if you punch a window, your hand is fucked.
You would know.
Right. But obviously, and it, it's probably just production value, but you can see that what she punches is just like this fake, super fake plexiglass, like bendy material, right?
Yeah.
Not like a real thing. But anyways, then she's like, busts out this chair.
Like, fuck it, chair.
She's not going to bust out like a little thing and like open the door. You know how you see in a lot of movies and stuff? She's just like, giant window, fuck it. We're just going to break the whole thing.
Not even a rock, like a rock would have been easier, but it's busts out a chair and just chunks it through.
Yeah, and then she walks through it with heels, stepping on a crap ton of glass.
Gets a little scraped.
Yeah, she gets a little scraped, and yeah, she, like I said earlier, she's some cray cray. Like, but
okay,
anyways,
man. I mean, she basically like teeters on like the crazy hot scale, and you gotta decide if it's worth it or not.
I mean, Susie is really cute, but if that's a little too much, that's a little too much for even me, But so, she's in the house, Kyung-jun, who had just left Arang right after her kind of stomping on him again, right?
Mm-hmm.
He shows back up to the house and
sees the window.
He sees the window. He sees Mari, and she's like, "Why do you have Gyeongjun's bed? Why do you have his bed?" And he's just frozen because he's like, "I can't think of anything
And then he's
BS
asking
to
her,
say."
asking him is like, "Are you Kyungjun? Are you Kyungjun?" And all of a sudden, I guess Daron felt bad about rejecting him, and she walks in and she's like, "Kyungjuna," and he's like, "Oh shit."
Well, no,
She
even
knows.
before that, like the reason Mari cuts herself, in the scene is because
Oh, right.
the only reason she put it together for the most part was because he also reacted badly to blood.
God.
And
it
that's
is
actually really
blood.
smart because to her, he's a doctor, right?
Yeah.
Like that is the one thing, like no matter what he can say, no matter what BS he can spew, that is the one controversial evidence of him being Kyungjun, right?
Yeah.
And then it just seals the deal that that Darang comes yelling, Kyungjuna, like, and of course, the scene ends with her hugging, Gong Yu's body, and he's making that like, what the fuck face? Like, what am I gonna do face?
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to like what's gonna happen, what the next scene is in episode 7.
It's a good scene because I've already seen it.
Well, I know you've already seen it because contrary to my my
Rules?
warnings and my rules, you had watched every single episode.
Hey, I couldn't stop. I'm sorry. It was too difficult. When the
Right.
subs are there and the episodes are available, I had no self-control.
And I already know many times where you know exactly what's going to happen, and all you say is like, "We'll see." And I'm like, part of the great. I mean, this isn't going to
Alright,
be a
I
problem when we
understand.
caught up, right? It's not going to be a
Yeah.
problem, but you don't get to speculate when you know what's going to happen, right? And speculating is half the fun, at least in a drama, in watching a drama.
It's true.
But like I said, that's not going to be a huge problem when we catch up, and we will catch up. We're pretty close to catching up.
Almost.
But do you have any? I have some concluding thoughts. I think about these episodes. Like I think I really didn't like the 1 year time jump at first because I didn't really think it accomplished anything. Because even though Kyungjun has left for a year, like it didn't seem he had learned much, especially with a lot of scenes with him reverting back to 12-year-old.
It's basically the same
Kyungjun,
person.
right?
So,
But
I feel like the 1 year was for Daran to kind of grow up instead.
But it didn't really even show that much. Like it didn't really show that she still thinks of him as a kid. Like, right? Like after one day of meeting with him, she already still thinks of him as a little kid again.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the same, but I think it's more her being stronger, like when she basically kicked out Seong out of her house,
Right, but you had seen her do that sort of even before the 1 year gap also.
It's true at the coffee house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I guess I know why they did the 1 year gap, and it's kind of because they needed her to give her time to get over Yoonjae, right? And there were a small amount of scenes where you kind of get the feeling that she is over him, sort of, but they didn't really explicitly mention that, so I thought that was a little weak of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it did set up a very interesting situation, which is the fact that now she knows 100% that Kyungjun wants her, right?
Yeah.
But and he is a kid. This is a kid wanting her in the body of the guy that she just tried to get over, And it's this really big thing. And then now all of a sudden Mari knows this, right? So that means Mari is going to be wanting Kyungjun also, right?
It's a big love triangle.
Right, and then
forms.
who the heck knows what's gonna happen if don't say anything if you know this, but who knows if Yoonjae wakes up in Kyungjun's body, right? Because that can add even more things. So I do think the future of this show is very, very interesting. I really hope that they keep up this pace, because like I said,
do you know how the ratings are going for these episodes?
I think the ratings are going up a little bit, but they're still, I think, in like 16th place, 17th place, like pretty low ratings, especially for the star power of this drama.
Right. Because like you said, I think we were talking about this, that Secret Garden kind of started slow too. And I feel like this is kind of like Secret Garden where they do a lot of body switching. But
yeah, and I actually never finished Secret Garden, and I don't really even remember it
really
well, other than the fact that he wore the ugliest jumpsuit thing in the world. And then I remember reading so many Korean articles about how that
people
style
start buying
was
that
spreading.
jumpsuit.
And I was like, are you kidding me? It's so ugly. That's pretty much the only thing I remember from Secret Garden. But I think this is even more interesting than Secret Garden. Because,
I think so too.
Because only one person is doing the body switching, right? Like
Yeah.
in Secret Garden, it was both of them So there's a lot of crazier situations that can happen here. All right. Anyways, this was a very long episode, and we're actually kind of afraid that the more we get into the drama, the more we have to say, and it's just going to get longer and longer. So if you like or don't like the length of this podcast, it would be great if you can let us know. All right.
Maybe we can split it in half.
Yeah, you can let us know in so many ways. So here we go. This is when we're going to beg you to do things. All right. So bear with us. We do actually rely heavily on word of mouth. So if you do have time, it would be great if you could like us on Facebook. It's www.facebook.com/aftershowshow. If you can like us, you can spread that link through your Facebook feeds. That would be really, really great. You can also interact with us directly, in real time if you have any questions or anything like that. If you prefer Twitter, we do have a Twitter. It's AfterShowShow. And if you hate all social networking, you can just hit us up with email, which is aftershowshow@gmail.com. Or if you hate all of that, you can just comment on our website straight up, right? I think we're pretty good at responding to that, at least when we're not at work. And lastly, if you could please subscribe to our iTunes feed, because you can get our episodes instantly when you do that.
Mm-hmm.
And also it helps us kind of
keep track as well.
Yeah, we have better stat management on our iTunes feed, and we can actually kind of see how we're doing much better that way.
Right.
But anyways, until next week, or the next time we do this, my name is Steven.
And I'm Kelvin.
And this is the Asscast Korea, and we will see you again next time.
Bye-bye.
오늘도 나의 하루는 시계처럼 그대 주위를 맴돌았죠.
Wow, you even have to put it in that's right.
It just helps me, dude. Alright? I'm not as fluent as other people.
Fluent? Is that the right word? I don't think so.
See? Like I said, I'm not very good with words. Stop talking to me! I had it in my head, and then now you fucked it up. I can't think of what I wanted to write in Kiss. You're ruining everything.
Alright, don't forget. Don't be boring.
I'll try. It's hard. Like, sometimes you just... What are you gonna say? You're just gonna say when you like what the scene.
I'll do it. That's what I'm here for anyways.
Yeah,
even though apparently no one cares that I'm the one that makes all the jokes. I only care about my mistakes. And you.
I usually watch, but I just have bad, like, paying attention, I guess. I don't know. Imagine if I was watching and, like... Hey.
It's like you can be bad at paying attention, but you can't be bad paying attention.
I know, but in my mind, I was just trying to think, like, paying attention, I'm bad at it. So I just merge.
Alright.
It happens a lot, dude.
Bad paying attention. That should be on time.